Good morning, welcome back to Derby Coy. Today is filter build day. Hopefully, I can see it's rather overcast, so hopefully the rain's going to keep off. So for today, as I said, where am I? Going to get this done. I've got my little helper today. He's feeling much better today. Still hasn't been for his walk this morning, so he's still upset with me. I don't want to chance his foot at the moment. I might take him out this afternoon for a run in the park, see how he is, but he's been absolutely fantastic so far. He's been really happy. Well, I wouldn't say happy, he's not happy that he hasn't been out, but I've been lots of playtime in the cottage, lots of treats. So nothing else has changed in the filter house. So for today, as I said, I'm going to get on to doing that, so I'll be back with you. I'm just going to run into there, to there. That shouldn't get stuck in there now, it should fit in. Yeah, that's fine. Hopefully. There's my bulkhead. We'll go. Okay. Let's get that cut. Okay, I marked where I want my bulkhead, which is this one obviously, and I got my hole cutter, which is the 1.5 inch. It might be a bit tight, so I might have to get a file in there just to file it down to make it a bit easier to fit in, but that will fit in at a push, but if not, I'll just file it down. So let's get the first hole done. So I've measured twice before I do it, because once this thing is in, it's in. Take it nice and steady, let the weight of the drill do itself. There you go. And the problem is getting, sometimes that's a bugger to get out of there, but we'll sort that out. Obviously I will wash all this out because bits and stuff inside. I'll clean all the burrs off. Well, let's just see. There you go. Don't even need to file it. A little tight, I might take just a fraction off, just to make that a bit easier, so I don't want to damage the thread on them. But one done. Just a nice half round file, nice and fine. Just get the make it that a little bit bigger. Again, I'll get the burrs off the inside and the outside and get that bulkhead on. The rubber on nice and flush. And tighten her up. That should have just flattened the barrel slightly. So that looks like there's a nice good seal on it. I can always get some grips on that and tighten up a bit more if I need to. But one done. Right, because of the angles here, where the return, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to put one of these onto there. Then it's going to be angled back. If you come in and have a look at that, angled back that way, so the feed in will come and into there. Because obviously if I can't get rid of that angle, I haven't got that right angle, it's going to be awkward to get the right angle. So that's probably the easiest way to do it. If I just set it like that, I'll cut them all down and dry fit them. So I'm happy with where they are, and before I do any solvent weld, I'm going to dry fit all this side, and I'll do the return as well. So once everything's done and I'm happy, then I'll take it all apart and solvent weld it, because once this is solvent welded I can't move it to get to the back. So let's get this side done first. Cheers, I'm having a nice cup of coffee, Derby Coy. And my boys just brought me out a wagon wheel. You can have some chocolate as well. Bloody freezing today, but we'll get in there. Job's a good one. Right, this is where we are at the moment. All dry fitted in, as you can see that side's dry fitted now, so I'm happy with that, where that is. That side's dry fitted in. But if you just, as you can see there, look, I've even put my dechlorinators in, I've got them running. I wanted to get the trickle back in the pond, and as you can see I've just run it into the easy pod at the moment. So, but if you have a look over here, as you can see there's a slight change. I decided to move this one, which was obviously down here. The reason being, what I've done, it's all, obviously you can see it's all fitted in at the moment. I fitted it all up as it's dry fitted. I actually did a quick run, a test run to see the flow rate I can get through it. Obviously on me, as you can look in there, the media's not in there at the moment, there's nothing in it. So I've done a test run, as you can see. Yes, it did leak obviously, because nothing's really sealed up. There's only a few little leaks, they were quite tight fits. But I wasn't getting in the barrel itself. The water wasn't filling up as high as I wanted. I was getting to about here, something like that, just above the outlet, but I really wanted it sort of here. So what I decided to do is move it from down there up to here. So now obviously this is water level will be higher than that, so I've got a lot more head pressure and I can get a higher flow rate through from return, which I'm going to have sort of about here. So that's giving me a better flow rate, and another good thing, instead of having half shelves, it's actually freed up a complete shelf, so a bit more, makes it easier for storage. And where these are now up here, it makes it easier for me to see what's in them and maintain them and make sure everything's okay. So that's where we are at the moment, all dry fitted in. So what I'm going to do now is I've got some solvent welding to do to solvent weld all this up, get that all sorted, and then I'll start on the inside of the barrel, the feeding and returns, things like that, and airline. So that's what I got next. Okay, so I'm going to start to solvent weld them, so they're all cut to size. This is what I'm using at the moment, just some Flowplast stuff, solvent cement. It's not the high pressure pipe, so this stuff is more than adequate for this. When I did my pressure pipe, my Grace pressure pipe, can't remember what stuff was called now, I'm trying to think. No, can't remember what it's called. Yeah, it's gone blank. But I'll probably put a picture or something up of it. And with that stuff I've got a cleaner, which is a two-part thing. You clean the thing, but with this one, never had a problem yet. All I do is I've got all the burrs off. Obviously, I'm just going to go around and just lightly rough with the emery paper. Just lightly rough it up. Same as the inside on that one. Lightly rough up. Don't you mess with this one, boy. Not nice stuff. Make sure I got the right. There it is. Okay. So I'm just going to put some on the inside first, and then on the outside. I'll push it together and give it a twist. I'll hold it for a few seconds. As you can see, I put some marker on so I know it's lined up right. And then wipe off any excess, and that will sit for perfectly. Same on the other end, marked up. So got all the burrs off. And on that one I'm going to do the same. Find my mark. In and twist, hold in place. Wipe off any excess. As you can see, the black marks is because it is actually melting the plastic together, so it is actually working. That's done. I've got the rest to do, but you don't need to watch me doing all that. Job's a good one. Right, I'm back. All those are solvent moulded now. So I'm just letting them set up a bit and dry off a little bit. Also, what I did before I solvent everything in place, I drilled for my airline, my bulkhead, which is here, and also did a little hole there for my trickling system, which will go in straight into this. And I give the barrel a clean out, obviously with drilling and stuff, there's bits and stuff in there, so I give that a good clean before it all went back in. Also, if you can see down in here, that's my infeed. None of this is solvent moulded in place, so as you can see it can be moved and taken out. I know these filter systems are supposed to be self-cleaning because obviously it's constant flow in air, so there shouldn't be any sediment in there, but just whether it does make any difference, I've got the water coming down at the very bottom here, so we're just going to throw the water out to stop any sediment down there as well. Hopefully, anyway. This is my return. Again, whether you can see, it's not solvent molded in, so I can take it and move it if I need to. Obviously, it's not going to leak. Any leaks down there, it's just going to go straight down the pipe. But obviously, I needed a cage on the top, and obviously, the water level I wanted, you know, sort of about here. Again, this isn't solvent molded either, so I can lower this if I need to. But obviously, if you can see, one of these. So if I put that in there, it's very high. So I wanted the smaller one. So what I did, give me a second, I got one of these. So if you have a look on there, it came as that high. I made it that high. So all I did was I cut it down about there at that high, cut that off and cut that off there, fold it around, pushed it in the middle, back inside, and some blobs of solvent mould in there. That's not going to come out. So if this is still too high, I've got another one spare. I can always cut that one down if I need to, but stick that in there now. So that is the height I've got at the moment. Obviously the water height will trickle in here, but again, that is, if I need to lower it a little bit, I can just turn that and that will lower the water, and obviously bringing it back up will make the water higher. That's where the pipe works. So none of this can be solvent welding. It is adjustable, so that shouldn't be a problem. What I've got, the same air lines here, so it's going to run down to my air stone at the bottom disc. But I did notice I bought a 20cm disc. If you have a look at this here and this here, these are ridges. I didn't realise they were there. I thought the bottom was flat. So when my air stone's in the bottom, it actually sits about here. So it's actually rocking left and right. So I thought, what am I going to do? So what I did, I've seen him have a look. That's my air stone I bought, and there's the airline on it. And when it's in, it was actually rocking one while the other. So what I've done is I cut some 1.5 inch pipe down and I've siliconed them to the bottom. It's actually the black butyl rubber silicone, the gold stuff. So it's perfectly safe for the fish. So if I put that in, have a look. There you go. As you can see, it was sitting over them. But that is now nice and sturdy, and obviously my airline will go up into there. So that got rid of that problem. The only other problem I saw then is obviously there's now a gap underneath around the bottom for media to get stuck. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come up with something to block the sides off, to still let water through and any sediments, and stop it getting, so no sediment gets stuck in there and bits and pieces. So there's a free flow of water underneath, but any media itself will not get underneath. So that's my next one. Once that's in, we can get the water on. And obviously all this pipe work is sitting up, letting it dry off a little bit more. It is quite quick drying, to be honest, so but I want to give it a little bit longer. And then we'll check for leaks and see how it runs. Right, if you look what I've done here, as you can see, I've got those on the bottom and I've got some mesh on it, so any debris or anything that gets through and the water flow will actually still flow underneath, but the media won't go underneath and get stuck, hopefully. So that's what I've got so far. Let's get it in the barrel and we'll see what it's like. Okay, that's it in the barrel. So now I can't get my fingers underneath because of that mesh. So that's in, and as you can see there, I've now run my trickling system from here, my valve, my regulator, and it's just poking through the barrel there. So that's below, just above the water level. So next thing is get some water running through it. I can check my levels and check for leaks. So let me get that turned on and we'll watch it go over fill up. Okay, let's get the water on. And it'll work its way up. Okay, I can hear it running up there. It's running into this one now. And it's filling that one up. I've already done a slightly drier run when it wasn't solvent welded in, or is water in there still. And it's just flowing in to this one. Yep. Check for leaks as I'm going. Can't feel anything at the moment. These are all. There might be a slight one on there. I might need to tighten that up a little bit. And we're just about to flow. Like that. Into there. So we're actually getting flow, and you can actually see the way the water's moving around. It's actually coming out, and there's a slight movement on there. So it's not its full pressure yet. It's not up its full rate. So I'm going to let that fill up, and I'll be back with you when we get up to the overflow. Okay, water's filling up now, and we're just about to go in the overflow. If you can see it from there, that's a better angle, and we're just about to hit it now. And there we go, it's just going over. So I'm happy with the level at the moment. If you can have a look in here, the levels in those are all good, not overflowing. So that's a good flow out, if you can see. I'm happy with that. So what I need to check for, so a quick check of the return. I've got a leak down there which I need to sort out, but apart from that, that's all good. So let me connect the air up and we'll see how we do. Right, I've sorted that little leak out that was on there. Just something wrong with the thread, but I put some PTFE tape on it. It wasn't sealing properly, a tiny leak around it, but that's completely dry now. I can't see any of the leaks at the moment that I can see, but I'll keep my eye on them for a little while. I'm happy with the flow rate. Obviously through here I've got to put my alpha grog back in, which again will alter the flow rate, so I'll mess around with that. But at the moment I'm happy with the levels of everything in here and the flow rate back in. I've connected my air pipe up. At the moment it's still on this one. I'm using this one, which is at the moment feeding the pond, and as I said, it's going to be gassing. I use it, this part normally gasses it off, so I'm just going to try and see. I'm going to put the air pump on, see what aeration you get in here, and it's still feeding the pond. So let me just turn this on. There we go. So that's the air rate through there without any media. So I've got to test it now. I've got 25 litres to try first, which I've PP'd, and it's been PP for about a week. It was soaking in PP. So I'll try that. I have got some more to go in afterwards. I think it's going to take more than 25, but we'll see what 25 does. So let me go and get that, and we'll get that in. Right, I'm just going to put the media in, but I thought I want to show you the difference between the two lots I've got. This is the brand new stuff before it's gone through any PP on that one, so it's nice and bright and white. And then there's this stuff that's been in PP for about 5 or 6 days, maybe 7, I can't remember. So if you just look at the difference, pure white, nice and white, and that's an off brown colour. And to be honest, I know it's difficult with the shape of it, but the new stuff feels quite slick and shiny, but the PP stuff, not that it's got a rough texture as such, but it don't feel as slick. I just think it takes the a film off it. People say it etches it and engraves it a bit, so the what's it called, bacteria, that's the stuff. The bacteria's got something to bite to a bit easier before this matures, so it just helps it mature a bit quicker. So I've got 25 litres of this, and I've got some new stuff which has only been in PP around the back about 3 or 4 hours at the moment. It only arrived this morning, unfortunately. Been waiting for it. This stuff is the HEL-X 13. It's what I went for. If you have a look at the bag, it's the Awazi, I think that's how you say it again, HEL-X 13 media. Looking at the forums and things on Facebook, some really good reviews on it, and I said it is actually a really good media for moving beds and biochambers. Also had some recommendations in the comments of a previous video, so I decided on this, and it does look a really good media, to be honest. So we'll get the 25 in and we'll see how that bubbles with the pump that we got. Okay, so that's the 25. I don't know if this pump's going to be strong enough, but we'll see what we got on here at the moment. If it's actually going to do anything. I didn't think it was going to be strong enough to bubble it. I don't know. It is starting to move. There we go. It's actually not too bad actually. That's quite a good movement for that. Can you see that okay? Yeah, I think definitely going to need more media in there. I've got another 25 to go. So, but I'll leave it at that for now. I'm going to give that PP in there. Leave it to PP a bit longer. But with that, I can't see any dead spots. It's tumbling over nicely on there. So yeah, that's pretty good at the moment. We'll see how it goes with some more media in there. Right guys, it's been running on about an hour now. Just go check it, there's no leaks, everything's fine. As you can see in there, I put my alpha grog back in and I had it run, like I say, I had it run for about an hour. I'll put them back over to keep any crap rubbish out of there and keep them in the dark. As I say, yeah, filter floss and everything's back in here, alpha grog's back in there, and this is running. That's with 25 litres. As I did say earlier, I have got another bag that was delivered this morning and I've been PPing that. It's been in there, what time are we now? I'd say it's been in there about 4 hours, something like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about half of it, between 10 and 12 litres, something like that, into here. It's been PP'd, so it's nice and clean. It's not as, obviously it's not going to be as dark as this. It's still going to be quite wide for a while, and I'm going to leave the rest in the PP for longer. So I'm going to see how about another 10 or 12 litres goes in here and how it copes with that, and I'll leave that PP in for another day or so and then see how we go from there if I need to add any more. Okay, so we'll slowly add this and see how it copes with it. And because it hasn't been PP'd for as long, I think it's floating a bit more. So it's giving me a few more dead spots. If need be, I can up the airflow in here a bit more. It's quite high in the pond at the moment, but as you can see, because it's floating as more than the other stuff, so I may even leave that for a day and see how it does. Like I say, I've got the other stuff in PP at the moment, so that's probably 7 or 8 litres in there. There's still quite a bit of room, but I think because that's floating more than the other stuff. As you can see, it's a lot whiter compared to it. Look, that's the new stuff and that's the old. So I might put this other what's left in here back in with the PP, leave it for a day, another day or two, and then see how we go from there. Okay guys, that's the bit filter done. I'm really happy with the way it's running at the moment. I am going to put the rest of this media back into PP with the other stuff. I've got the other half. I think it definitely tumbles better once it's been matured a bit more. So let it etch a bit more in the PP and I'll see how it goes. But I'm going to leave this running for a couple of days, see how it goes again. If I need to up the air anymore, I can always do that. But I'm really pleased with how it goes. So thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to press the little bell to get your notifications of new uploads. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Any comments, hit them down below. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. So I'll leave you this video now. I know I haven't done much on the fish, so a bit of a shot of the fish. And until the next one, stay safe. Job's a good one.